Hey friends, back once again. Um, Seems to be some confusion on how you use a memory cell here in combination with like a trap base architecture, or why you'd even bother using that. Um, Trap bases are not typically as simple as you walk in and step on a trigger and get blown to smithereens. It could be, so I made up a little mock trap base here, which is just 3 rooms or 4 rooms, so it's obviously very basic. Please be much bigger and more creative in how you build traps into your base or build trap bases. But this is just to demonstrate the concept. The concept would be someone would be enticed to walk through this open door and go grab this stuff. And by doing so, they would trigger these garage doors to open and get blasted to crap by these turrets. And it has the bonus of locking the loot room and locking them in the room so they can't get out. There's no trigger in here to open that door. Now, if you don't use a memory cell or something that changes state, then pressing this would cause the turret doors to open and these to close, but then stepping off of it would reverse that. So the memory cell makes sure that things stay the way you want them. And I'll demonstrate how that's built here. Here's my little reset switch I'm going to throw real quick just to put it back to normal. So key concepts. Power means doors are open. So this door has power. The loot room door has power. The turret doors do not have power. So we have 2 different circuits. There's a splitter on each wall for each of these 2 circuits that I've got coming in. And here's how I wired this up. I haven't used a lot of XOR switches, so I did use one here. What happens is power's coming in through this blocker, which is not activated, and it's providing power to the main door and the loot room door. So they're open because they're powered. The goal here is that when someone steps on the pad, it causes this memory cell to change state. When this memory cell changes state, it activates the blocker, which cuts power to the loot room door and the outside door. So that's what traps them in. Simultaneously, I'm taking an arm of that power and putting it into an XOR switch along with the main power. XOR switches, they're like the opposite of an AND switch. When both of these have power, the output is off. So as soon as this activates and cuts power to the doors to lock you in, it also cuts power to one side of the XOR switch, which causes it to turn on. So boom, turn on. The turning on means applying power to the turret doors to open them up. So this is how one single trigger now causes the turret doors to open at the same time the main door and the loot room door close. And since it's a memory cell, it doesn't matter if I step off of this pad. I can step on and off it all I want to. You can see I tied it to the light just for some visual indication here. I am triggering it, but that doesn't change the state of the memory cell. The only way to change the state of the memory cell is to hit the reset input. I have a little switch here tied to the reset input, so I can just go boom. And as soon as I apply power to the reset, everything goes back to normal because the memory cell goes back to 0. So that's one of the advantages of using memory cells, is to be able to maintain state until you want to change things. I just put a switch here for convenience. Please don't put all your power and the reset switch out in the open like an idiot, because then your attacker will just come out here and reset your damn trap base. Maybe because they want to go in and get killed again because they're stupid. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't think you'd be that lucky. The nice thing to remember about door controllers is they do fail secure. So feel free to build traps or trap bases in your base, because the worst thing they can do is basically blow up all your power stuff, your input or your batteries or your electronics here. And if they do that, the doors just close and lock, because if they don't have power, they close. So worst case, they lock everything down and they have to blow their way in. Best case, they're stupid enough to walk in here and trigger this and get blown up. Pressure plate's really obvious, so play with a combination of pressure plates and laser detectors throughout your base to decide when you want to trigger things to really screw people up. Ideally, if this pressure plate were down a hallway somewhere, or a laser were down a hallway somewhere, so that it's not right next to the damn door showing them exactly what you're doing. Again, be think bigger, be more creative. But that's the basic concept, and that's how you can use an XOR switch, which I haven't used much of, and also how the statefulness of the memory cell is very beneficial when you're trying to cause something to happen, but not unhappen after the trigger occurs. So I hope that helps, and enjoy.